Hi, welcome to the Backroad Banter podcast. I'm your host, Bubba Hyde. Today we are going to be talking about fishing because up here in Missouri it dropped down to about, I think the lowest we had last week was like 58 in the morning. It has been a high, I mean, it's been up in the hundreds almost here for the past couple weeks. And now the highs are, well, getting closer to the 90s now, but then for several days in a row they were like 80s, low 80s, mid 80s. But in the mornings, still in the mornings, it's getting pretty. It's like 65 degrees. But there one morning last week when a cold front came through, it was like 58 degrees, and so I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a perfect morning to go fishing. The fish are gonna be going crazy. I mean, they've got a cool front coming through, some rain. The barometric pressure had changed. I was like, oh, I'm like, they're gonna go ham. So I got out there early, took some friends, and nothing. We got skunked. I had one bite. I say one bite. I had one hooked, um, on a topwater on a spook. We were fishing by a couple of private marina, a couple of private docks. Um, didn't get on them or nothing. Just we were out there casting by them. There's some topwater action, so we I tied on that spook and I threw it, and I've been throwing it for a while. And we had the thing that made me so mad is like I was seeing fish in the water, like you were seeing, like we were seeing plenty of bait fish. I was like throwing a bunch of different lures that mimicked bait fish, like all different types of bait fish, and nothing, like not even a hint of a bite. I switched to that topwater spook and threw that. I mean, I threw that probably a couple hundred times, and I had one bite, one nice, honestly, really nice topwater blow up, and I didn't. I did not land the fish. I mean, I had him set the hook. I gave like two cranks on the reel, and it came off. Super frustrating because that would have been like the only fish of the day for anybody. That was on last Friday. That was on Friday, and then so Sunday evening I went and I started fishing probably about um, probably 6:30, and I did it. I mean, I threw a Texas rig, threw a crack and crawl on it, then threw uh, I threw a bunch of different creature baits on the Texas jig, and nothing. I mean, I think I had every rubber I had on in my backpack. I think I had it on the Texas rig at one point because I mean, with the Texas rig, you can never really go wrong. So I thought, but I don't know. I'm new in Missouri. I'm new at fishing these like clear lakes, and they're super rocky. I'm used to like pond fishing where you go and tie on the same lure you've tied on like a million times and you go out there and wear them out. But here it doesn't seem to be the case. So like I found me a nice spot um at the Pondeterre Lake up here, which is like 30 minutes north of where I live. And so I drove around for a while, so I found me a nice spot where I could go down to the bank and fish it. And I could see why. I could see top water. I could see fish coming up to the top. I could see bait fish. I could definitely tell it was like post spawn. Um, so actually, I haven't been fishing in a while, like several weeks, like probably 7 weeks, I guess, because I broke my wrist like 7 weeks ago. If you can see the scar, so I haven't really been doing much of anything, except for I had surgery like almost 4 weeks ago, and so I haven't been fishing. But they gave me a different cast that I could take on and off. That my hands starting to feel better, so I tried it, tried to go fishing, felt fine. So I mean, I couldn't, but the only thing I could do, so I couldn't help myself. So it was as it was getting darker though. I was like really about to give up because I was not seeing any signs of fish, and then I I tied on, just throwing something crazy. I threw on this chartreuse, square nose swim bait and started throwing that. And after I tied that on, I mean, I was just pretty much dragging it across the shallow of the rocks. And after throwing that for a while, I caught this. I caught this bass. Nothing like really to gawk about or nothing. You could just tell it was like a nice, healthy bass. You see my cast I have on it, or my brace I have on right there. I don't think this one. I think pretty sure this was a female, and I could definitely tell that she hasn't spawned yet. She's getting really close. She was fat and juicy. And then I was still throwing that, and I caught this drum, which was a pain to get out because treble hook stuck in that mouth. Um, was quite terrible. Um, so I was throwing. I caught that, and it just kept getting later and later, and I was just like, I was genuinely ready to give up. And then, so I fish with a bait caster usually. Nothing fancy, just a bait caster. I can't afford fancy stuff. But my girlfriend has a really nice open face that we went and got her, and so it's left-handed though. I don't like fishing left-handed. Um, so I had this, and then I tied on this football jig. Gosh, what color is this? Um, the pumpkin color, I think. With a crawl trailer on it. Honestly, the trailer was a little short than I liked it to be. I tore off too much, but I was like, just throwing whatever I had. And after I started out, I threw it out there, and I was just kind of like popping the end of the rod up off the bottom, getting it to like go about like this through there. Nothing. I had no bites at all. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna reel it, and then I'm just gonna reel it, and then just kind of twitch it here and there every once in a while. Um, so I just started reeling it, twitching it, and I kid you not, I was like, of course, I'm gonna throw this with a left-handed reel that I'm not used to fishing with a broken wrist, and I'm probably gonna catch a decent fish. And that's what I did. I mean, it wasn't nothing like again. It wasn't like a 10 pounder. It wasn't. I might have been 5. I wish I had a scale. I mean, you could tell it a big old belly on her. Post spawn vast. I mean, the mouth isn't huge. I definitely had to hold this with my right hand. It was a little too big for me to hold with my broken wrist hand. But you could definitely tell she was spawning hard. Her face was all kind of messed up. Um, and you can tell this is getting pretty late. And I'm on this like rocky shore. Like it was pretty shallow. You can see that there were some beds in there, and I had cast to the left of where I was, so I was in a really awkward position. I did get it landed though. Very surprised, very happy that I got that fish landed. I moved up and down the uh, bank and spent another 20 minutes because I mean it was getting pretty dark. Spent another 20, 30 minutes fishing and throwing that. I mean, before I tied those two on, I tied on everything. I tied on a 3-piece swim bait shad, super realistic, was throwing that. I mean, it was getting followed, but nothing would commit, and it was so frustrating. And I could not get nothing to hit it. I mean, nothing would just. I mean, everything would just kind of look at it. I mean, I would throw it on the nose of a fish, like a good like 1 pound, 2 pounder fish, and throw it down their nose and pull it right in front of like jig it really slow and nothing. I mean, not even like second glance at all. The only thing that was actually following anything I was throwing were these small bait fish, but they were like this big. I mean, I had a couple that were, like that big. Some perch and stuff. But nothing until like I started throwing these two, and it was definitely like getting pretty dark. They were definitely till they were starting to feed, but it just buffaloed me because the change in the weather and stuff, and then it took like I didn't catch nothing on that Friday morning, and then Sunday evening, like it took to absolutely almost dark. Like I think I left and it was 8:45. Um, so I moved to another spot, like right by where my pickup was, and caught this one. Nice fish. I mean, you can tell the fish in this lake are super healthy, which are good. I mean, I started over here on this side actually. This was like catty corner to where I was actually fishing, where I caught the bigger fish at, and you can tell the difference of the bank. It's rocky over here. It's more like these were like big rocks, and then on the other side was like smaller rocks and kind of dirt. So I didn't. It just kind of. It felt nice to get back out there and like catch something, but it drove me nuts that there was absolutely no super aggressive fish like I thought there would be with that kind of a weather change. I mean, going from I think by that time in the day it was probably it's probably like 75 degrees, and it was kind of starting to get a little like chilly. Like there was like a light breeze, nothing crazy. I was wearing like long sleeves and pants because of the freaking bugs out here. They're keeping me alive, but I wasn't sweating, that's for sure, like crazy wearing that, and especially after I don't know, maybe it just didn't give it enough time for the water to cool down, or we didn't get enough rain for it to like actually affect the water temperatures. But there were several times where I fished on Friday where like I wore like my sandals short so I could like because water levels at the Stockton Lake are super high, and it's kind of hard to fish on the bank sometimes. So like it's shallowed out really far. So just put my sandals on and walk out there into the water and fish to be able to cast into the deeper areas, and I could definitely feel like the coolness of water on different places. So I definitely try to fish the cooler water, and like I could see like big fish, like 2-3 pounders in the water, and there was nothing biting, and like I could besides that one top water hit. And you could see like there was like some action on the top, and I couldn't really quite tell some of what it was because it was a little farther out. Um, but there was consistent like activity it seemed, and I threw like every top water I had that I could think of. Like every like I was literally like throwing on different lures, like throwing something like something that moved, something that shined and moved. I mean, I threw a chatterbait, I was throwing spinner baits, I was throwing deep dive and crankbait. I mean, I was throwing everything, and I was doing everything in my power to get the fish to like, oh, what the heck's that? And then, bite it, but nothing. I mean, there was nothing I could have threw besides maybe a gigantic treble hook. That's a joke, by the way. So there was nothing I could throw that would get these fish's attention. I mean, there was absolutely nothing in it. I just could, I shouldn't know what else to throw. And so it just kind of buffaloed me. If there's anybody out there that could tell me why the fish do that, I would love that. I'd like to think I know a primary reason why fish are like I always thought when I fish ponds, like fish weren't biting because it was super hot, obviously. As soon as it started cooling down or the front was coming in and it was about to rain, go up there and I would wear them out in a pond. I don't know if it's because it's smaller, the fish, you could pretty much fish the whole body of water, cast in front of all the fish. But even whenever I was at a lake casting in front of fish, there was nothing because I haven't really ever bank fished the lakes. I've done some boat fishing in the past, but nothing that would make me experience like super experience a lake. angler. I don't know. To me, there's a difference. To y'all, there might not be a difference, but to me, there is a difference. And but I don't know. It's something that I am new at, and I have caught some deep. Like I have caught some better. I have caught some better fish out there. Like I caught this one over by at the docks where I was fishing Friday morning. Caught this one. Nothing. It's not a huge one or nothing. I did catch this one out of that brush over there, which was nice. It actually broke my rod, which kind of sucks. Probably the rod's fault. But I got that one before I broke my wrist. But yeah, I don't know. Could be. It's probably just me. Not for sure though. So thank you for watching this episode of Backroad Banter with Bubba Hyde. We appreciate you watching, and we hope you come back and and have talk more about fishing stuff when it gets hunting season. I'll talk about we got dove season coming up here in September, and I'll do some duck hunting, some deer hunting, dove hunting. Might even get into some turkey hunting. I don't know. I got a friend that does some turkey hunting, and I'll probably try to get him on the show. Um, Sometime. My friend told me we might even talk about golf with him too, but I might do some cooking stuff on the show. I like cooking a bunch of different things that some people might not have ever thought about cooking in a way, and definitely like cooking wild game. So get my hands on some wild game. I actually have some bears in the freezer, so might have to cook that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Backroad Banter.